Yakwaje hapo kwa safi kabisa bana. Hii ni Shampuzy Media na kama kawaida kila siku za wiki tupo mitaani kuhakikisha kwamba tunakuletea story of course ambazo zinakuinspire na story ambazo pia sisi zinatuinspire pia hapa ndani. Na leo hii tuko kaunti ya Kwale ambapo tumekuwa kwenye kongamano la wanahabari kuhusiana na mradi wa Restore Africa, na kuna mambo mengi sana tumezungumza kuhusiana na mambo na mazingira. Tumekuwa tunapata nafasi pia kuzungumza pia na wakulima kuhusiana pia na mazingira, na tunataka tupige story pia na baadhi ya wahusika watueleze pia ni kitu gani ama ni malengo gani ambao pia ni shughuli gani ambayo imewaleta mahali hapa. Habari ya leo?
Salama sana.
Labda unaitwa nani?
Kwa majina naitwa Parkinson Mondi. Mimi ndiye coordinator wa Carbon and ESG. ESG ni Environmental, Social and Governance Aspects of Restore Africa program. So hapa Kwale tumekuwa kwa muda siku mbili tukifanya capacity building ya journalists katika county ya Kwale na Kilifi. So majorly we were talking about restoration efforts which are being undertaken in Kwale as well as Kilifi County. But then to dig deep into it, we were focusing on the overview of the project so that the journalists around this region could actually understand what the restoration efforts we are executing in the region. So we focus on the three components of the Restore Africa program, and that is on land restoration, which focuses on degraded lands, restoration of degraded lands, so that they can be sustainable again. Then we are also focusing on livelihood aspects and the value chains that are linked to the same, so that out of the program, the stakeholders or the smallholder farmers that we are onboarding onto the project could benefit from various value chain areas. Then lastly, we also had an area that dealt with the carbon component of the program, because as you understand, this restoration program, it also has a carbon credits component in it. So we also had a session just to give an overview of the same, so that the journalists could have an understanding of the same. Thank you.
Okay. Na mbona mhusishe wanahabari?
Okay, tumeleta wanahabari juu wanahabari wao pia there is a role that journalists actually play when it comes to restoration efforts, and we brought them forth so that we could partner with them or to form a basis from where we can begin partnering with the journalists around the region. And as we embark on partnering with them, there are areas that we believe that they can be of good contribution to, and that is in promoting and even just pinpointing areas that need to be focused on or to be addressed when it comes to restoration projects. Because one thing that we know is that carbon credits related projects, they are actually associated, some, not actually all, but there are some which are associated with misinformation and even controversies. Now, bringing in the journalists and even media personalities on board means that areas that are being misunderstood, or the misconceptions that we have, and even the controversies, they can actually be addressed by the journalists. Then also restoration efforts, we don't have much airtime for restoration efforts. Now, bringing in journalists and even media personalities means that we are setting a platform under which restoration efforts can be magnified, not only within the Kilifi or even the Kwale counties, but even beyond.
Wanahabari mmewafunza, mmewatrain, kulingana na wewe umeonaje?
Kulingana na mimi, hiki kikao ama hiki workshop yenye tumekuwa nayo imekuwa successful. Successful in that my interaction with the journalists that we've had around has shown that there are a number of areas that they have gained on and even learned from. And that means that our being here was not in vain, because even as they walk out of this venue this evening, they are coming out when they are enlightened, And also they have learned a number of things, especially in regards to carbon, which used to have a number of questions, and I'm happy because of that. Then kuongezea pia, wakati tulitoka tukaenda kwa field, tuka interact na farmers wenye tayari wamekuwa onboarded into the program, tuliona ya kwamba journalists walipata fursa ya kujionea na pia kuinteract nao farmers, na hiyo inamaanisha kwamba wakati walikuwa na interact na farmers wangethibitisha chenye tayari program inafanya huko nje. And I think that also comes as a challenge even for the journalists, so that they can use the various platforms and even the various channels that they have to magnify the restoration efforts and even the news about carbon in a positive way, so that those who fear things to do with carbon credits development can actually appreciate it. Okay, kwetu kama Restore Africa program, jinsi vile tulisema katika one of the sessions during the program yesterday, we usually ensure that we engage the stakeholders that we interact with. Why do we do so? Because first we need to identify their needs. So our interaction with them is like it gives us the platform whereby we can map out and even assess their needs. Because when you understand their needs, then you know where to pick it up from. Because once you identify the needs, your focus will also be aligned to addressing those needs, so that whatever restoration efforts you are bringing to them, or in whichever way that you want to engage them, will be focused on addressing their needs. And that means that even the project itself will not suffer when it comes to the challenges and the limitations that the community have. Because out of the needs assessment, you will already have known where they are limited. And when you roll out a program, then you will be also focusing on how those limitations will not affect both the program and even the community. So I think the basic area to begin from is to engage the community, and as you progress with the program or your project, you make sure that they are on board throughout. Thank you.
Lastly, how many counties do you cover?
Currently in Kenya, we are covering 5 counties. Tuko na Migori County, tuko na Elgeyo Marakwet, tuko na Kwale County, Kilifi County, as well as Narok County. Baada ya miaka 5 tunalenga kuanza account or quantify carbon credits out of the program. But beyond that, there are other livelihood aspects that we believe that the farmers will be continuing to benefit from. Tukisema saizi, tayari kuna wenye wameanza kubenefit wakipanda miti, na kuna wengine pia wenye wanajihusisha kwa the various value chains that we have in the program. They are already benefiting from it. But then when it comes to carbon credits, we have to wait for the moment when the trees will have already grown to a relevant height or a relevant age, so that we can begin accounting and even quantifying the carbon credits. So baada ya miaka 5, I'm 100% sure that tutakuwa na carbon credits. Kwa neno la mwisho yenye naweza kufungia ni ya kwamba projects zenye ziko na carbon credits, they are good projects because one, apart from just restoration efforts, they do a lot when it comes to balancing the air quality, and that is beneficial both to humans and even to the natural ecosystem. And therefore, I would urge each and everyone that comes across things or even projects to do with carbon credits to build some personal interest in knowing more about carbon credits, so that they get to harvest and harness much information, because out of the information that they will harness out of the carbon credit sessions or even interaction with carbon credits, they will be able to understand how the carbon credits development operates. So it's not a bad thing, it's a really good thing, and I would urge each and everyone to emulate it. Thank you.